I am at OSU this morning in Corvallis with Dr. David Lowenstein, and so today we're going to talk about a pest. And a couple years ago we did talk to someone else about it, and it's the brown marmorated stink bug. And so what do you call it?
BMSB.
A little bit easier to kind of reference it.
Yep, save some breath.
Yeah, and so what is your research project? What's going on with that these days?
Yeah, I work with biological control. That's the use of beneficial insects to manage other insects. So the insect I work with is called the samurai wasp. It's native to the same region as brown marmorated stink bug, and it is a small egg parasitoid. So it lays its eggs inside of stink bug eggs, preventing the stink bugs from hatching, and instead of 28 or so stink bugs, you get 28 wasps popping out of it.
That is so cool. So really there is some hope to kind of control this, because it is a damaging insect to some of the crops that we grow here in Oregon.
Yeah, we think that this is a good opportunity to try to manage BMSB using less insecticides because of this specialism between the samurai wasp and BMSB. They're from the same parts of Eastern Asia. They've made their way at different times to Oregon, Washington, other parts of the US, and we hope that they continue that specialist relationship from Asia here in the US.
So what kind of damage does the stink bug do to commercial crops?
Yeah, the stink bug can damage a variety of crops. Usually orchard crops, things like hazelnuts, apples, cherries. It can cause direct damage to the fruit with its piercing, sucking mouth part. So you might notice a hole on the outside of it, and when you peel back that skin, at least for apples and cherries, you'll notice a brown circle beneath it. Vegetables can also be damaged by BMSB. We get people who tell us about their peppers or their beans that are damaged by stink bugs, and you'll see these miscolored circles on them. Often you'll find the stink bug actually feeding on it, but there's not. The question is more, what do they not feed on?
And so could we actually see this happening? Could we observe that in our own gardens?
Absolutely. Stink bugs, they lay eggs beneath the foliage of trees. Usually it's about 25 to 28 egg masses. Just take a look under a leaf if you might notice them. They're bright green, and ordinarily they'll hatch after a few days into little stink bugs, but you might notice a samurai wasp. If you see a tiny little speck staying on top of the eggs, that'd be the wasp. After it lays its eggs, it guards them for a few days. About a week later, those eggs turn a dark black color, and 1 to 2 more weeks later, wasps will pop out of them.
And so be able to be more predators to more stink bugs.
Exactly.
That is so. And if we're worried about getting bit by these wasps, really they're so tiny, you're not going to have any kind of worry about that.
No, they can't pierce skin. We're talking 1.5 millimeters. Nothing. There's no way you're going to confuse this with the yellow jacket. And they're not interested in stinging people. They just want stink bug eggs.
Just to kind of go on with their own prodigy.
Exactly. They need stink bug eggs to reproduce, and they also might use nectar from flowers for energy.
So really good pollinators too.
Yep. What
Excellent.
you have that's good for pollinators in your garden might be good for stink bug parasitoids like the samurai wasp as well.
Excellent. Well, great. We're all into that. That's really something important for all of us gardeners too. So what can we do to help? Can we be helpful researchers for you?
So we need your help in finding the samurai wasp. We know that it's in Portland. We know that it's making its way around the Willamette Valley. It's also in Vancouver, Washington, and we've started releasing the wasp in a couple places around the state. But this is a microscopic insect. It's pretty hard for us to find out where it is. So we could use the public's help in helping us locate where this wasp is moving. So one way to do that is if you spot BMSB eggs in your trees, before you get rid of them, wait a few days and come back and see what happens to them. Is there a little wasp that's guarding them? Have the eggs turned dark black? So if it's less than a week later and you see stink bug nymphs emerging, it's not parasitized. Do whatever you want with those eggs.
Right.
But if you see a wasp on it, or you see those eggs turn a dark black color, save the eggs. Either leave them on the tree, wait and see what happens, or just take the leaf off, put it in a jar, keep it near sunlight, and if wasps come out of that, that's a really good sign. You might have a samurai wasp. So let OSU Extension know about that find, and it'll come back to us at Oregon State University. We can confirm if it's the right species and find out if the samurai wasp is in your garden or in your neighborhood.
Well, it's been so much fun to kind of help, and it's so important because, you know, the researchers can't be everywhere. So we're going to have all that information on the Garden Time website, and you can also help in all of this research with the samurai wasp. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Interesting.